moving on JoyNews agenda today, we find out how a state-sponsored real estate fund could help you own a home at a cheaper cost. Ghana's housing deficit keeps worsening by the day, and the situation is terrible, mostly in the urban centers, as the search for jobs have compelled people to migrate from rural areas to the urban centers. But are you aware you can own a home without making the full payment, with the cost spread many years? JoyNews' Maxwell Agbagba has been speaking to the managing director of Lakeside Estates, Lawrence D'Souza, and has come through with this report.
I'm currently here at Nima, basically to find out what the housing situation is like here. Happening behind me right now are some kids who are back from school and enjoying a game of Ampe. But I'm here specifically to meet Emmanuel Johnny. Emmanuel is actually a pensioner. He's a 67-year-old pensioner. He used to work with the Ministry of Defense as a cobbler. Emmanuel is an opinion leader here in this community. He's going to tell us exactly what it was like in the past and what the housing situation is like now here at Nima. A compound of livestock busily feeding, scattered household items, amongst them a television set. Indications the family is in dire need of space as they continue to multiply. Over 15 people live here. Emmanuel Ajani, a pensioner, tells me the housing situation in Nima has worsened over the years and people continue to struggle for places. To add salt to injury, available rooms, as poor as they may be, are way beyond their budgets, and landlords demand at least 2 years' payments in advance.
It is difficult to get a room here at Nima. You would have to go through an agent before you get a room to rent. You can't do it on your own, so you would need their help. Some people take 3 to 4 years advance payment, and some even charge as much as 650 cedis per month. Some people complain, but they have no choice. In the olden days, it was very easy getting rooms here. People used to recommend Nima to others when they are looking for rooms. And truly, people got rooms when they came here. It is difficult getting rooms here now. About 5 people came here recently in search of accommodation. I told them it is not possible, so they left.
So what options are available for people like the 5 who have had to look elsewhere in the hunt for a place to lay their heads? I have met the marketing director for Lakeside Estates, Lawrence D'Souza, in his office on the 7th floor of the Silver Star Towers. He makes a strong case for mortgages.
It just helps all the potential home buyers for them to be paying for the houses as if they are renting it. You can rent somebody's house for 20 years, the house doesn't become yours. But with mortgage, you pay for 20 years and the house eventually becomes yours. So it is a good idea for our industry.
Why then are people not rushing for options like this? Mr. D'Souza tells me high interest rates and low salary levels are major repelling factors.
It's the interest on mortgage. You see, a lot of the mortgage companies and banks, they charge a minimum of 12 to 13% on the dollar, and in excess of 28 to 40%, 28 to 30% on the cedi. That actually keeps a lot of. That's the annual interest, monthly interest. So because the whole thing is compounded, you know, they have to pay over a longer period of time, and the interest rate tends to push a lot of people away. Then another major thing I realized is that salary levels in the country are generally very low. So by the time they add the interest and they do the assessment, a lot of people tend not to qualify for the mortgage. Hitherto, if you look at elsewhere, like the US, the Canadas, people pay as low as 3%, 2% for the mortgage loan. Whilst Ghana, we are looking at 12, 13, 14% on the dollar and over 28% on the cedi.
In his opinion, Ghana needs a real estate fund to make mortgages attractive, as that could help reduce the interest rates for prospective home buyers.
Because speaking to a lot of the mortgage companies, they will tell you that the cost of borrowing, basically they borrow and they also lend on to the potential home buyer. So if the person is borrowing at 6%, the person will add his or her overheads and everything. You realize that there's no way the person is going to borrow to the potential home buyer anything less than 12%. So if we have a real estate fund where these banks could leverage on in order to borrow to homeowners, we can push the interest rates very low.
The fact still remains that tonight, thousands of people across the country will be at the mercy of a chilling night, exposed to unforeseen dangers. Reporting for Joy News, Maxwell Ababa.